You got a package of pork chops? I'm gonna show you how to take them to the next level. You in your kitchen? Cause I am. Let's go. All right, so let's get started with the ingredients. Right here, we using some boneless pork chops. I got about 6 of them. You want them about a 1/2 inch thick. You don't want them too thin because they can dry out real fast. Also, you can use bone-in pork chop. And for me, I want some pork chops with a little bit of fat around there. That way it stays really juicy and moist while doing the cooking process with that fat. Right here, we have some rice. We have a chopped red pepper here. Right here, I'm using some pork broth. So guys, I know you see me always talk about pork broth. So the way I make this, I use a pork bouillon cube, guys. So man, if you haven't ever used pork bouillon cubes, I know it's beef and chicken that most people use. I like the pork whenever I'm using any type of pork recipe. I like to use the pork bouillon, and I just boil some water, sprinkle it in there, and then that's how I get my little stock of broth, whatever you want to call it. Here we have a chopped green onion. We have some green chilies, some taco seasoning, some tomato sauce, olive oil, chopped onion, salt, pepper. And right here, if you have Colby Jack cheese, you can use Colby Jack cheese. I couldn't find any Colby Jack where I was, so what I did was I took some Monterey Jack and some cheddar cheese and gave it a little mix. Basically the same thing. So these are the ingredients. Let's get started. All right, so we're gonna start off by browning our pork chops. We're gonna bring our cooktop up to temperature, and we're gonna add some olive oil here. Now the goal is not to fully cook the pork chops. We just want to give it a nice sear on each side, turning only once. So we're going to do them maybe 2 at a time. We don't want to overcrowd them because we want that nice brown sear on each side. So we're going to allow this to come up to temperature. All right, so our oil is smoking, so we're going to start adding our pork chops. About two minutes per side. And of course, we're going to add some salt over here on the top, along with a little pepper. And depending on how thick your chops is, you want to gauge that time. Maybe it's a minute, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3. All right, so let's give these babies a quick turn. Got that nice brownish color over there. Add a little salt. Come behind that with more pepper. And we're gonna let those cook on this side for 2 to 3 more minutes. All right, so it looks like we are good right here. Take a look at that. That's what we're looking for, that nice sear on each side. Let that fat cook a little bit right there. I love when the fat is seared, man. It's very easy for me to eat when it's seared and fried like that. I don't like it when it's real soft. We're trying to get a little of that fat seared. And that's just gonna help it through the baking process. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove these, put them in a bowl, and we're gonna continue with the remaining of our pork chops. All right, guys, so we are finishing up on our last 2 pork chops. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove them, place them in this bowl. We're gonna turn off our cooktop, beautifully brown pork chops. All right, let's go ahead and move over to our cutting board. All right, so now we're at the cutting board. I have a 9x13 baking dish. We're just gonna take some cooking spray and we're just gonna spray it all around the pan, just to keep it from sticking. Next, we're gonna add our pork broth. Tomato sauce, green chilies, taco seasoning, the rice, and your chopped onions. And we're just gonna get this mixed in, combine it, get those flavors talking to each other. Man, this mixture smells great. All right, so now we're gonna bring over our pork chops, and we're gonna place these on the top of our rice mixture, just like that. And we're gonna finish it with those juices. And we're just gonna top this with our green peppers, also with our red peppers. Next, we're gonna cover this with some aluminum foil. I've already preheated the oven to 350 degrees. We're gonna allow this to cook for 50 to 60 minutes. Don't overcook it. You may wanna check it around the 45-minute mark, depending on how big your chops are or how hot your stove is. You don't want to overcook this. You want to make sure that that rice is tender and the pork chops are cooked all the way through. All right, so I'm gonna get this into the oven. I'll see you guys in about an hour. All right, so we are back after 60 minutes. Let's remove this. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. So to finish this off, all we're gonna do is gonna add our cheese to the top. So we're gonna let that sit again for about a few minutes, let that cheese melt, and we're gonna come back for the final presentation. And there you have it, guys. Fiesta baked pork chops and rice. I'm gonna leave the measurements in the video description below. Let me know what you think about this recipe in the comment section below. Let's jump over to quality control so we test this out. Man, this looks good. All right, let's go. All right, so we're back in here for quality control. Let me show you what we have, man. You already know. Oh man, just let me put it up here. Look at it, that Fiesta pork chop and rice. Oh man, this looks so good. Let's try this rice first. Oh man, ooh wee. Has a similar flavor to that Spanish rice you made that day with the, it has a similar flavor to that Spanish chicken and rice, but a little different flavor. Oh man, I like this. All right, let's get into this this pork chop. Y'all know me, I love me some pork chops. I definitely gotta see how this thing gonna taste. Oh man. Oh. Perfect meal. And guys, you definitely wanna try this recipe out, and I wanna give a quick shout out to my Auntie Kim. Listen, Auntie, this recipe for you. I know you're gonna love it. So until then, I'm your cook, Spinelli, all wings, everything. And remember, I'm not a chef. I just cook a lot. And now I'm out. Peace.